Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Shadma. 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 Bandha mohi savadhana mate. Bandha mohi savadhana mate. Bandha mohi savadhana mate. Mohi savadhana mate. Jahar prasade var e bhavatoriya jahar. Jahar prasade var e bhavatoriya jahar. Jahar prasade var e bhavatoriya jahar. Jahar e bhavatoriya jahar. Krishna prapti hoy jahar hoyte. Prapti hoy jahar hoyte. Krishna prapti hoy jahar hoyte. Krishna prapti hoy jahar hoyte. Guru Mukha Padma Vakhya Chitete Koriya Kya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakhya Chitete Koriya Kya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakhya Chitete Koriya Kya. Arana Koriyo Mane Asha. Arana Arana kariyo mane asha. Arana kariyo mane asha. Shri Guru charane rati aise utama gati. ऐसे उत्तम गति. श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति. गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति. जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा प्रसादे आशा जय प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा चक्युदान दिलो दे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से ना दिलो दे चक्युदान दिलो दे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से ना दिलो दे दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति जा होते अविद्या विनाश जायते प्रेम भक्ति जा होते अविद्या विनाश जायते विधे गाय जहर चरितो विधे गाय जहर चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमा जनार भंगो करुणा सिंधु अधमा जनार भंग श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधमा जनार भंगो अधमा जनार भंग लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना श्रील प्रभुपाद लोकेरा जीवाना आहा प्रभु कर दया देह मदे पधाचया आहा प्रभु कर दया देह मदे पधाचया एभे जा सकी शिक्ति भुवाना एभे जा सकी शिक्ति भुवाना श्रील प्रभुपाद पतित पवाना आहा प्रभु कर दया देह मदे पधाचया प्रभु कर दया देह मदे पधाचया एभे जा की शिक्ति भुवाना जा की शिक्ति भुवाना एभे जा सकी शिक्ति भुवाना एभे जा की शिक्ति भुवाना जय प्रभु परा प्रभु परा प्रभु परा जय प्रभु परा जय प्रभु परा जय प्रभु परा प्रभु परा जय प्रभु परा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने श्रीमते भक्ति नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे Gaurami Pracharini Nishesha Nyavadi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha, Radhanath Radha, Radhanath Radhe. Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari, Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura Hari. Gaura Hari, Jaya Gaura, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharyya Asatotara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Shila Isi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharyya Asatotara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय. श्री मधुर वृंदावन धाम की जय. श्री नीलाचल जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय. गंगामयी की जय. जमुनामयी की जय. भक्ति देवी की जय. श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरे हरे. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So I'd ask you all to take your seats, or you can be on the floor here, facing the Vyasasan. Welcome to the Sunday Love Feast program. In a month of very, very exciting programs, anticipating many, many exciting programs as we are commemorating our 40th and 50th anniversary. So now there's a short video, which is a standard feature of our Sunday Love Feast programs.
So, Krishna is described here as Ajo. Ajopi san abhyatma bhutanam iswarupi san. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Ajopi. I am unborn. Yes, Krishna is unborn, we are also unborn. But the difference is that we have been entangled with this material body. Therefore, we cannot keep our position as unborn. We have to take birth, transmigrate from one body to another. And there is no guarantee what kind of body you are going to get next, but you have to accept. Just like we are accepting in this life one body after another, the child is giving up his childhood body, accepting the boyhood body. The boy is giving up his boyhood body, accepting youthhood body. Similarly, this body of old age, when giving up, natural conclusion is that I will have to accept another body. Again childhood body. Just like there are seasonal changes. After summer, there is spring, or after spring there is summer, after summer there is fall, after fall there is winter, or after day there is night, after night there is day, as these are cycles one after another. Similarly, we are changing body one after another, and natural conclusion is that after changing this body I will get another body. Utta bhutta paliyate. This is very logical and supported by this Shastra and spoken by the greatest authority, by Krishna. And why should we not accept it? If you don't accept it, that is foolishness. If you don't think that there is no life after death, that is foolishness. There is life after death. Because we are accepting one body after another since time immemorial, we cannot think of that there is life eternal. It is difficult for us. Just like a diseased man, he is lying down on the bed and eating there, passing stool there, passing urine there, and he cannot move, and very bitter medicine, so many inconvenience. He is lying down. So he is thinking of committing suicide. This life is very intolerable, let me commit suicide. So, in desperate conditions, sometimes the philosophy of voidism, impersonalism is forward, to make the things zero. Because this life is so much troublesome, sometimes even one commits suicide to get out of this, troublesome life, a material existence. So the philosophy of voidism, impersonalism is like that. They cannot shudder to think of another life, again eating, again sleeping, again walking. Because he thinks eating, sleeping means on the bed, that's all, and suffering. He cannot think otherwise. So the negative way, to make it zero, that is void philosophy. But actually, that is not the case. The case is that you are in trouble on material condition. You get out of this material condition, then there is real life, eternal life. Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is Aja. Aja means who has no birth and death. So we are also aja. How we can be otherwise? If Krishna, if I am Krishna's part and parcel, the same example you can see. If my father is happy, so I am the son of my father, why I shall be unhappy? This is natural conclusion. Because I will enjoy my father's property as my father is enjoying. Similarly, God is all powerful, Krishna is all powerful, all beautiful, all knowledge, everything complete. So I may not be complete, but because I am part and parcel, so I have got all the qualities of God in part and parcel. It is not that. So God does not die, He is aja. So I also will not die. This is my position. And that is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Na jayate na mriyate va kadachit. When he is describing about the soul, Krishna says that the soul is never born. Na jayate, na mriyate. And if one is not born, how he can die? There is no question of death. Death is for a thing which has got a birth. If one has no birth, there is no question of death. Na jayate, na mriyate va. So we are part and parcel of Krishna. As Krishna is aja, we are also aja. That we do not know. This is ignorance. This is ignorance.
Check. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much for assembling here today on this Sunday Love Feast program. For those of you just come in, could you occupy these chairs? There's some places in here so you can face the speaker. That would be good. And just indicate with your hands up where there's spaces. All right. Mataji's, thank you. It's my great pleasure and honor to call to the Vyasa-san here today, one of our very, very senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, who himself has made such a tremendous contribution and impact on ISKCON. Let us welcome to the Vyasa-san His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj. Thank you very much. His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and in 1968, at the age of 18, he joined and received initiation from Srila Prabhupada, and his initial services were to staple booklets, and he went on to play a very, very essential and vital role in almost every stage of publishing Srila Prabhupada's books thereafter. He served as an editor for nearly all of Srila Prabhupada's works during Prabhupada's lifetime. He is an editor, a writer, a publisher, and a teacher of spiritual knowledge. In 1978, Maharaj accepted sannyas, the renounced order of life, and he has spent his decades lecturing extensively in the US and all over the globe. And we're greatly fortunate to have had Maharaj's association here also over the decades. So thank you, Maharaj. Between 85 and 86, he had joined what is called the walking tour, the Padayatra pilgrimage traveling shoeless for more than a year and a half through the towns and villages of India, together with some of his godbrothers, Burijan Prabhu and Danadar Swami. He founded the Vrindavan Institute for Higher Education. Maharaj's contribution to Srila Prabhupada's movement, particularly in the area of publishing, is very extensive. From 1988 to 2017, he served as the director of Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, Srila Prabhupada's publishing house, the largest publishing house of Vedic literature in the world. He is also engaged, he was the former director of BBT Africa, and from 91 to most of 98, he was the editor-in-chief of Back to Godhead magazine. 2008 to 2018, he was the director of the Bhaktivedanta Archives, which is the official repository of all the historical material of about Srila Prabhupada's life and work. As a scholar and translator, he served as a senior editor for the English versions of the seminal works of such as Sri Krishna Leela Stava, Sri Brihad Bhagavat Amrita by Sanatan Goswami, Tattva Sandarpa by Sanatan Goswami. He is also the author of Vanity Karma. That book has been quite popular here in our bookstore. Ecclesiastes, the Bhagavad Gita and the Meaning of Life, which was published by Bhaktivedanta Book Trust in 2015. And that book won the prestigious Benjamin Franklin Gold Award from the Independent Book Publishers Association. Maharaj himself personally is very renounced, austere, and a very, very humble servant of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Sri Radharanath. So Maharaj, thank you very much for your kind association, your presence here by which we are all blessed. Let's have a nice round of welcome again. So today's topic is coming back, life after death. So with that intriguing topic, please also, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask them. We can send you the microphone around. And also, there may be a board that's going around if you're shy to ask. But we definitely want to switch these devices on silent. Just please do a phone check, because you may think it's off and inevitably it will go off. It's really class. So please just check. Thank you, Maharaj.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurn Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadhati Shapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kolpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhobhyevacha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhaktabrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you all for taking part in today's program. Earlier this year, I was interviewing a devotee, a Ghanaian devotee from Ghana, Srivas Das, and in the course of the discussion, he told me of an incident that had been influential in beginning his spiritual life. When he was a young boy, he had an uncle who used to visit their home once a year. He was a policeman, and he would come, he would spend some time, stay for some days and talk with the family members. He would bring some gifts. And one time he came, and not the usual time, but he came. But this time he just walked in to the house, didn't talk to anyone, walked out and left. So Srivas was perplexed because no one else seemed even to notice. So he said to his father, he said, "Dad, there's something I'm wondering about. Our uncle policeman came, and he just came and went, didn't speak to anyone, and it seems you didn't notice. And it seems that Mom also didn't notice. And, am I imagining or what? You saw Uncle Policeman? Yes. How was he dressed? He was in his uniform. And he came and went? Yes. He said, then something is wrong. And we'll find out in time. And the next day, because the uncle was posted in some other place, few hundred miles away, the next day the police came and brought his body. And they said that he was in some car accident, and just at the time when Srivas had seen him, he'd died. So from that, Srivas began questioning that there must be something more than just this one lifetime. There has to be something further, because he had that direct personal experience that although his uncle had died, he was there hundreds of miles away. Well, eventually he came in touch with devotees and read Bhagavad Gita, and he himself became now one of our leading devotees in ISKCON. And these things are not well understood or rejected out of hand by those who are not, those who are ignorant about spiritual life. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, let's see, Ashuriram yadavapnoti yachapyut kramatishraha grihit vaitani sangyati vairgandhani bhashayat. 15th chapter. Just as the air is carrying different aromas, so the mind is carrying different conceptions. I'm thinking I'm American, I'm thinking I'm African, I'm thinking I'm white, I'm thinking I'm black, I'm thinking I'm managing director, I'm thinking I'm street sweeper, I'm thinking this is my wife, this is my husband. I have so many conceptions in terms of my temporary identity, in terms of this body. I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul, but I'm identifying with this body, and then I think I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. And these impressions within the mind about who I am, these strongly held misconceptions or attachments to a particular identity, stay with me. And at the time of death, they carry me to the next life. Shrotram sparsham chakshuna cha rasanam granam eva cha adhisthaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate. I have a particular, now in this body, particular kind of eye, a particular kind of ear, particular nose, particular sense of touch. Whether I'm in a human body or a dog's body or any body. And according to those senses, there's something that I like. The birds like to eat seeds and that sort of thing. The squirrels like to eat nuts. Some birds like to eat fish. Pig likes to eat stool. Some of us like Punjabi food, some of us like Gujarati food, some of us like pizza, some of us like this or that. And there's something we like to hear, there's some kind of music, some kind of stories. There's something that's pleasing to our touch. Some of us like this environment or that environment. According to the senses that we have, the fish like to live in the water. We don't like to live there. Some of us prefer cool climates, some of us warm climates. According to the senses. And all of these senses are in relationship to the mind. But at the time of death, the senses are given up. At the time of death, I leave behind these ears, this nose, this tongue, this eyes. And I go to the next body. But the mind stays with me. We have two bodies, the gross body and the subtle body. Gross body is this one with its senses, and the subtle body is the body of mind. Mind, intelligence, false ego. At the time of leaving this gross body, the subtle body stays with us. The mind stays with us. Otherwise we'd be liberated, we'd be pure soul. But even when we transfer from one body to the next, the spiritual soul keeps the material mind with it. We still identify with the mind. We still have a attachment or tight connection with the mind. And the mind attracts the next set of senses, the next set of ears, the next set of eyes, next tongue, next body. The mind attracts, as it were, pulls together another set of senses, or another set of senses gather around that mind. That is, our mental conception at the time of death pulls us toward the next assembly of material senses. Utkram antam stitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimurtha na anupashyanti pashyanti jnana chakshusha. The vimurtha means the great fools. In modern civilization, people are educated to become great fools. They think they're scientific-minded, they think they're critical-minded, they think they're very intelligent. Or else they're just enjoyers of this world. And they don't see what's happening. They generally think in terms of this one lifetime, this one body, this one family, this one nation, this one life. And they don't give a thought to what comes after. Or they give a thought and dismiss the thought. They're not serious about this. Because vimurtha, because they're asses, Krishna says, big asses. Murtha means ass, and vimurtha means big ass. So we have a civilization of big asses. The political leaders are asses, the educators are asses, the business leaders, asses, everyone ass. Because they don't know who they are, they don't know where they're going, they don't know how the subtle laws of nature are working, taking us from one lifetime to the next. They think only in terms of this one life as if it were everything. And they remain ignorant, happily ignorant, obstinately ignorant about anything more. If they hear about something like the incident that occurred in the life of Srivas, then they dismiss it. Oh, that's blah, 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 blah. There's so many superstitions, blah, 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 blah. Even when there's strong evidence gathered by accredited researchers, scientists, the vimurthas reject it. Blah, 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 blah. Because it's contrary to their materialistic creed. They just reject it. Vimurtha. Big fools. Na anupashyanti. Krishna says they don't see through the wisdom of others. They don't see through the wisdom of the sages, the wisdom of the Shastras. They just see with their eyeballs. And with my eyeball, I can't even see my eyelid. Prabhupada makes that point. With my eyes, I can't even see my eyelid, which is the closest thing to the eye. And how will I see how the subtle laws of nature are working? Na anupashyanti. I can't see it just by ordinary vision. Or I'll see something. Those who are a little fortunate, even from material evidence, they'll think there must be something more. Even a child, Srivas says a child, there must be something. But the vimurdhas, those who are committed to the materialistic point of view, they'll never see it. And even if we want to see it, we have to see through Shastra. Pashanti jnana chakshusha. Those who actually see through eyes of knowledge, not just physical vision. My physical vision, the sun appears to be a big ball in the sky. I have to hear from those who know the sun is 93 million miles away, it's so hot, it's so many things. Without seeing through the eyes of Shastra, without seeing through the eyes of knowledge, I'll see through eyes of ignorance. So the Bhagavad Gita is meant to give us the opportunity to see with eyes of knowledge, to see who we are, to see how we're traveling from one life to the next, and finally to get free from this cycle of birth and death by reviving our eternal Krishna consciousness. So this Hare Krishna movement is meant for that, for everyone, to give everyone eyes of knowledge. We have big fools, highly educated, but even a fortunate villager can understand the truth of Bhagavad Gita if it's presented by devotees speaking on behalf of Krishna. One has to be purified. It's not just an intellectual exercise that if I study and I analyze, one needs some purification of mind, purification of heart to see what is what. For that we have this chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Even the ordinary person can become purified just by chanting Hare Krishna and taking Krishna Prasadam. This past week, last Sunday, I was in Clarkstorp, which is an old mining town that's declining, and the money has moved back to Johannesburg, the men with the money. But we have a small center there. Our Narottam Das is manning a small center. And for their Sunday program, they had as many people as we have here, I think, just about. A lot of small kids and a lot of adults. And they were all chanting Hare Krishna loudly. The children were all screaming Hare Krishna, and the adults were chanting Hare Krishna. And wonderfully, no Indians, all African ladies and gentlemen, African kids, chanting Hare Krishna. And then they all took prasadam very nicely. It was very nice prasadam. The local people, because they have a short staff there, so the local people organized were taking part in the serving. And everybody was happy. We gave a short talk, Krishna consciousness also. They asked good questions. So this Krishna consciousness, even the big university professors may not understand, but even a child can understand if he's fortunate and comes in touch with the devotees and chants Hare Krishna. So in this way, we're meant to create good fortune all over the world, at least all over South Africa, by this simple method. Take this chanting, Hare Krishna, take Krishna Prasadam, read something about the science of Krishna, and step by step take up this simple method of making life successful. Our material successes will all be finished with this body. It will all be gone. But this real success comes in the form of spiritual understanding more and more. And this is the success that the Krishna consciousness movement is meant to give us. And it's the success that as human beings we're meant to take up. The animals, the trees have no such opportunity. We have this human life, and therefore we're meant to use it for getting out of material existence, getting free from birth and death, and going back home, back to Godhead. So if we want to leave some time for questions, I'll stop here and see what you have on your clipboard or however it's coming. You can just show me, I guess. Or you want to take your clipboard back and get more questions? Begins from there. Okay. Ooh, there's lots more. Should one fear death? Should one fear death? At least in the beginning, just to make a show, I don't care about death. Death, what's that? It's stupid. If there's but one should come to in one sense, we're all afraid of death. We don't admit it, but no one wants to die. We're all afraid of death. We all stop at traffic lights. But we don't roll down our windows because we have fear. So fear of death is natural, and if we don't have fear of death, something's wrong with us. But we should progress from that point to fearlessness. Shukadev Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj that if you want to become akutobhaya, free from death, then Harir Nam Anukirtanam. The best way is by this chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Is Harinam initiation important in one's lifetime? If not in your lifetime, when are you going to do it? Harinam initiation means taking up seriously the chanting of Hare Krishna. Informally we can chant, casually we can chant, but if one is serious, then this initiation is the beginning of seriously chanting Hare Krishna under proper guidance. So if not in this lifetime, when? It's essential. Can someone be initiated by Krishna himself, and can Krishna be his guru? Yes, Krishna can do everything. What's the difficulty? If Krishna wants, he can give you initiation, he can give you sannyas, he can make you Lord Brahma, he can do whatever he likes. But are we expecting that? Just Prabhupada gave the example, Rabindranath Tagore was not, I don't think he had a university degree, but he wrote great Bengali poetry, he won the Nobel Prize, and then he received an honorary doctorate from Oxford. So now if I think, well, then why should I go to college? I'll just do the Rabindranath Tagore. I'll wait for the honorary degree. No. Not that because one rare soul gets an honorary degree, I'll also do that. No. For the rest of us, you give your application, you get your acceptance letter, you pay your tuition, you sit for the exams, you write your thesis, you get your degree. So, Harinam initiation, Krishna can, but that's totally exceptional. Even a great soul like Dhruva Maharaj wasn't initiated by Lord Vishnu. Krishna sent Narad Muni, you initiate this boy. If we want to be initiated by Krishna, why should we reject the person sent by Krishna to give us the holy name by the usual process? No, I won't take the usual process. Like somebody's dropping us, we're drowning, someone drops us a rope from a helicopter, and we say, well, I'm waiting for a silver rope. Yeah, they could drop a silver rope, but if you wait, you're probably going to go under. So Krishna initiates all the devotees through his authorized representative, the bona fide spiritual master. That's Krishna's arrangements. Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. When you apply for a job, you go, you speak to the personnel manager. You don't demand, but I'm highly qualified. If the CEO could please come. No. CEO doesn't do that business. He's appointed. The CEO looks and says, who is this crazy guy? He's never going to work for me. I have an arrangement in place. I have someone appointed to hire on new men. Let him go through that system. If he doesn't want to go through that system, let him go. What prevents people from taking to what appears to be a simple, simple undi. Well, I guess it means a simple way of doing things, but yet appears too complex. I guess what stops people from taking to Krishna consciousness, even though it's simple, is that? I guess that's the question. Prabhupada explained impiety, that is a background of sinful activities, and stubborn obstinacy. A fortunate person, a person with a background of pious acts from this life or the previous life, can naturally take to Krishna consciousness. But a person whose background is all sinful activities, mean, nasty, for that person it will be more difficult. And if one is obstinate, then nothing. I want this, I want that, got to be like this, got to be like that. I want this. I don't accept that. All right, then remain a fool. Upadekshanti te jnanam tadvidhi pranipatena. If we want knowledge, we have to approach the person who knows submissively, humbly. Humility is the beginning of knowledge. Without humility, no one can learn anything. No one can take to anything. I'd like to ask about the idea of crossing over. Certain psychic mediums communicate with departed beings years after people died. This seems contrary to our idea of reincarnation. Why would that soul not already be in another body? If it is a gimmick, then how would such mediums be aware of information that they had no physical access to or could not have prepped for beforehand? Well, in terms of the empiric part of it, yes, there's a lot of cheating that goes on. Right around the corner from our temple, there's a psychic who, communicate with departed beings for $15. It's not such a cheap thing. And how do they do it? By trickery. Magicians know how impressionable people are, how easy it is to ask leading questions and to get knowledge from people, or to notice how they're dressed or what accent they have, and put together the beginning of a story and then more of a story and a little more. So these things are, and there's examples of like huge cheating, where mediums have been found out and debunked. So cheating is common. But there are also well-documented cases of mediums who appear to have access to verifiable knowledge that they couldn't have possibly have gotten by ordinary means. How do they do that? One possibility is by telepathy. They have access to your mind. That's possible. Mystic yogis can do these things, and there may be some gifted persons who can do that. Or there may be, information stored somewhere in the universe. That's described in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and elsewhere, that in subtle form, all sorts of information is kept, preserved somewhere on the platform of ether, Akash, and may be transmitted in this way or that way. Or the soul may be discarnate, didn't get another body, still floating on the subtle platform, ghosts and so on. That's also possible. So exactly how these things are working is a subject of interest to some few researchers, and quite a fascinating subject. But we don't rely on research and theory. We take our information from Krishna, and we save a lot of time and trouble. When a living entity is about to leave, then people are chanting, reciting mantras, and so on. So to what degree does the chanting help the deceased to go home, back to Godhead? Huge. Chanting is so beneficial. Chanting is so beneficial. If the soul, only a very fortunate soul, gets to hear the holy name of Krishna at the time of death, we can't estimate what good fortune it is. Either the soul may directly go back to Godhead, or certainly get the opportunity for further spiritual progress, because at that most crucial time he's heard the holy name of Krishna. And whoever vibrates the holy name at the time of that person's death does the greatest service. Subtle bodies are real, even if you cannot see them. You can feel their presence, especially at night. Please say more about subtle bodies. Well, you don't have to be spooked to perceive a subtle body. Every one of us has a subtle body. The mind is subtle. We can't see it. Can't take a slide and put it on your microscope, before your microscope, and see the subtle body. But the subtle body includes the mind, the intelligence, and that every one of us can perceive our intelligence at work. Sometimes it's working badly, sometimes it's working well. But we see the gears turning, we have a problem and we put our minds to it, we put our intelligence to it. Everyone can perceive the existence. So we see it in others. You say something to them and you see the gears turning, or not. So the subtle body is perceived by everyone. It's just not thought about, perhaps. But everyone sees that you have intelligence, you have a mind. And that one has a false ego is also very easy to perceive, both our own and those of others. So you don't have to wait for some discarnate being to rattle chains and howl at night. We can all perceive the subtle body. That said, one sometimes does perceive discarnate beings, people. There are many such reports, and one may have some experience also. That lends further interest. But even in ordinary life, the subtle body is perceived. If a devotee departs in his sleep, is this bad? No. Depends where he's going, of course, but if he departs, if a devotee leaves day or night, in naite sriti partha janan, navi muhyati kaschana. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjana. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that there are 2 times when you can leave. And the yogis are practicing to leave their body at an auspicious moment. So Krishna says there's 2 ways to leave, in the darkness or in the light. Shukla Krishna gati hyete jagata shashvate mate. Ekaya yatyana vritim anyaya vartate punha. If one leaves during the darkness, during the light, one attains liberation, goes back to Godhead. He leaves in the darkness, comes back. Agnir Jyotiraha Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayana Tatra Prayata Gachanti Veda Veda Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vidojana. The self-realized experts leave during the time of Agni, during the day, during the 6 months of Uttarayana, when the sun is in the north. And then Humo Ratristata Krishna Shanmasa Dakshinayana. Those who leave the world during Dakshinayana, the 6 months when the sun is in the south, who leave during the smoky time at night, they come back. Therefore, the yogi has to leave at exactly the right, the soul has to leave at exactly the right time. But naite sriti partha janan navimuyati kashana. My dear Arjun, don't worry about it. Just be fixed in Krishna consciousness and you'll go back to Godhead. Naite Sriti Parthajanan Nabi Muhyati Kashchana. Yes. Yogi Muhyati Kashchana. Tasmad Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukta Arjuna. For the devotee, any time is auspicious. Does the departed devotee remember his family when he has moved on? What family? Can he still pray for them, guide them? Don't wait for your family members to communicate with you from the next plane of existence. The spiritual master is there, the sadhus are there, the devotees are there, the Bhagavad Gita is there. That's where the guidance comes from. The fools will go to the psychics and say, "What does Uncle George say I should do?" Why go to the psychics when Krishna is the supreme mystic, Yogeshwara? He knows everything, past, present, and future. Vedaham samadhitani. So why should we go down the back alleys looking for some connection to life, knowledge of life after death? Here it is, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita. Just take it and you'll know everything. And we've reached our time. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. All glories.
His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj ki. I think we have to just admire Maharaj's astute mind and intelligence to refer to all of those verses, appropriate verses for the explanations. It's really, really something that's so impressive. So thank you, Maharaj. We have some announcements and then Her Grace Champaklata Mataji.
I don't know about here, but in New Jersey we have some schoolgirls and schoolboys who know the whole Bhagavad Gita by heart. They can chant all the verses and explain them also. So much for my impressive abilities.
We have to add humility to that list. So some quick announcements, and we're going to do it as a bullet. 50th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada in South Africa, 22 days to go with the Kendra program. And the 40th anniversary countdown, 27 days to go. So sponsorships are open for this. If you want to help, please check at the book desk there. There's an exclusive 40th anniversary commemorative coin collection being launched on the October 11th and 12th. And these are limited edition coins in gold, silver, bronze that feature Sri Sri Radha Radhanath and Srila Prabhupada. Please contact Bhakti Katha. Ask for her details at the book desk. The 2026 calendar is out now. And that costs 60 Rand. You can get that there. This Saturday, His Grace Rishabhanu Prabhu, former South African but now from Mayapur, he's presenting his course on self-care from 1 to 5 p.m. here at this temple. Prasadam is included. It's free, but you have to register, so please do that at the book table also. September 21st, the coming Sunday, another local temple in our environment in Chatsworth called the Sri Imperumal Temple. They have a Goshala there, right? And they're inviting us, ISKCON devotees, to come and do Harinam at their Go Puja. So Veerabhadra Prabhu's in charge. Just jump up quickly so they can see you. This is Veerabhadra Prabhu. Please contact him and be nice for us. Good opportunity to build relationships in the community. So please do that. This Wednesday at New Jagannath Puri Temple is the Sri Vyasa Puja, Appearance Day festival of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. And Maharaj will be there, His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami will be there, and His Holiness Bhakti Brihat Bhagavat Swami Maharaj will be there as well. There's a lot of details, but we're hoping you also have a good mind. So 26th of September is the inaugural conference at UKZN on sustainability and the impact of ISKCON in this arena over the last 50 years. Today, the Love Feast Prasadam has been prepared by the Food for Life team, headed by Ramananda Priya Prabhu and his wonderful team. So let's applaud them, and if you see them, thank them. To conclude our morning's program, we have Her Grace Champaklata Mataji, who amongst our countless services serves as our ISKCON Minister of Justice globally. She's going to speak on an important initiative by devotee care. So please give her your attention, and then when that's done, we'll all rise for the Aarti, and we could please humbly ask you to help with the chairs to stack them up. All right? Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. So, it's quite important that Maharaj's topic today lends itself to this about your last will and testament. And coincidentally, this week, the 15th to the 19th of September, is actually earmarked by the Law Society of South Africa as National Wills Week. So it all tied up very nicely for today's program, because as devotees we know, and it's been, repeated by Maharaj here today as well, that death is certain. It's just when and what time. We don't know when that's going to happen. Unlike Parikshit Maharaj, who had the opportunity to prepare for his passing away, we don't know. But one thing we are certain about is that it's going to come. And so why wait? Why procrastinate? Why can't we get our lives in order? We are preparing to go back to Godhead, hopefully, and in terms of our spiritual journey. But what do we leave behind? And who do we leave it behind to? Because as Maharaj said today as well, the only thing that you are going to take with you at the time of death is your mind. Nothing else. Whatever you've worked for this entire lifetime is going to remain behind. So we need to take this opportunity, particularly now during National Wills Week, to consider drafting our wills. And what is the importance of drafting a will? Having a valid will ensures that your wishes are known in respect of what happens to your assets after your death and who is entrusted with administering your estate. So you're going to leave behind this estate, and some of you may think, I don't have much of an estate. I don't have many assets. But if you do not draft your will, then what's going to happen to it? Who is going to receive it? And that is going to devolve in terms of the Interstate Succession Act, which I'll speak very briefly about. And who is going to administer your estate? Is it somebody of your choice who you've trusted? Or is it some random person that your family is going to nominate to the Master of the High Court to appoint as the administrator of your estate? So the consequences of not having a valid will. What happens if you pass away without having a will in place? Not just a will, but a valid will. Because you might scribble something down, but is that will going to be accepted, and does it comply with the formalities that are required in law for it to be an authentic and acceptable will? So your assets will be distributed in accordance with the Interstate Succession Act. So there is a piece of legislation, a law in South Africa, that actually determines who would inherit if you haven't left a will. And that could be somebody that you actually didn't intend to benefit from your hard-earned savings, from all the assets that you've acquired, from your properties, etc. Because that is based on your bloodline and your various degrees of relationships with your family members. And then they could be fighting over things like this, over a necktie. And if you see that, it says, but you don't even wear a necktie, right? And your family members is going to result in people fighting over and disputes about your assets. A common misconception is that I'm married, and I'm married in community of property, so my surviving spouse will in any event inherit everything that I leave. And I don't need to do a will. But that is a misconception, because if you haven't left a will, the Interstate Succession Act will determine, and your spouse will only be entitled to half of your estate. The rest of it will be devolving about the remaining part of it actually goes to your spouse in the form of 250,000 rands or a child's portion, whichever is the greater. Right? So you want to make sure that if you intend for your spouse to inherit everything, that you have included that in your will. Right, so I think I've covered this already. And there are certain formalities for drafting a will. A will needs to be in writing. We are not like the American legal system where you can leave a video behind of what my wishes are. Our South African law hasn't evolved to that point. It needs to be signed by yourself. And if you cannot sign, you want to put a thumbprint or you need to put an X, there are certain further requirements for that. It needs to be signed in the presence of 2 or more witnesses, all being present at the same time. And those witnesses need to be competent in terms of the fact that they need to be over the age of 14 years old and they need to have mental capacity themselves. Right? It needs to be signed on every page if there is more than one page, and of course it needs to be dated. You can have several wills written in your lifetime as your circumstances change, but your last dated will be your final will, provided of course that right at the outset of your will you have made mention of the fact that you are revoking your previous wills. Right? Another important aspect to consider is if you perhaps have been divorced and if you haven't updated your will and more than 3 months have passed since your date of divorce, and if you pass away, despite the fact that you may be in another relationship, you may be married to someone else, that will that you haven't changed remains as your will because you've had an opportunity for 3 months to have changed that. So the importance of updating your will is that you could also, your heirs may have predeceased you, your executor may have passed away, so you need to change it. So regularly update your will. There may be birth of more children, you want to include them as beneficiaries, your grandchildren, you may have purchased new property, you need to say who that's going to devolve upon. So there's a lot of things that you need to think about and continuously update your will. Now, some options to also consider. What happens if you and your spouse die simultaneously? The delays that will be occasioned in first administering your estate, then your spouse's estate. So you need to include paragraphs pertaining to that in your will as well. What about the guardianship of your children? Do you want to form a testamentary trust in your will? Meaning that in your will you're going to say that the children are going to, you're going to create a trust because they are minors and somebody else is going to be the trustee and will administer the trust for the benefit of your children. And what about if you don't like your daughter-in-law? And you're afraid that your son and daughter-in-law are going to get divorced, but you want your son to inherit. So you want to put a clause there that the bequest to your son is to be excluded from any community of property, marriage, or accrual that they may have entered into. And your advanced medical directive, especially during COVID when we couldn't speak and people were on ventilators. So your will is actually a document that speaks at a time that you cannot speak. Other quick aspects to consider is your cremation. Where are your ashes to be dispersed? Do you want to include something like a usufruct that I give my property to my son on condition that my surviving spouse has the right to live there for the rest of her lifetime? So there's a number of things including estate duty, the tax that we need to pay to SARS, and how to plan your estate so that your family benefits the maximum and SARS the minimum. So that's estate planning as well. Right, what about Shri Shri Radharadhanath Temple? Right, there's so much of advantage of giving in charity. We can't take our wealth with us. We may provide for a family, and that's absolutely fine. But whatever you give in charity, whatever you give for the deities, whatever you give for the maintenance of the temple, that's actually to your eternal spiritual benefit. So consider that. You know, how can I benefit? The other day someone asked Marge, I think on Friday evening, about organ donation. Your intentions may be noble, but who takes that organ and what they do with that lifetime? So likewise, Your intentions may be noble, and yes, it is your prerogative to give to your family, and no one's saying don't provide for your family. But how they use it thereafter, how is that going to benefit you in your spiritual journey, in your ultimate destination of wanting to go back to Godhead? So consider leaving a bequest to Sri Sri Radharatna Temple. This is the temple that has nurtured us, that has provided for us for our spiritual growth, and maybe you want to leave something here. So if you are going to leave something for the Sri Sri Radharatna Temple, please ensure that whoever drafts your will, whichever attorney drafts your will, obtain the details. I've put it on the screen here, that this is how the beneficiary needs to be stated, because it is a legal entity. And this is the entity that pertains to this particular temple. I can share this with you after the class, after the program rather, and I'm not going to go through all the benefits of giving in charity and in terms of building temples, maintaining temples. It's all there in Shastra. You're all devotees, so you know all of that. Right. Srila Prabhupada himself set a perfect example. He himself carefully and meticulously executed a will to protect ISKCON and all his access. So why shouldn't you plan your will in terms of who benefits as well? And in conclusion, like I've said at the outset, this week is National Wills Week, but from a devotee perspective and myself as an attorney, I am willing to extend my services to our congregation for the remainder of September. Do not procrastinate. That's what I started off by saying. We don't know when death is going to come. You could avail yourself of contacting me directly. I'm happy to draft your will for you. During National Wills Week, all attorneys who are participating, their details are on the Law Society of South Africa's website. There are certain attorneys who have signed up for this, and they will draft a free basic will for you. And you are not obliged, and I've put this here as well, should you contact me, no strings attached. You are not obliged to appoint me as your executor or any devotee or any manager as your executor. It is your wish, whoever is your executor. Furthermore, you are not obliged to give a bequest to Sri Sri Radharatna Temple, or we are not forcing you to give any donation. We are just offering this opportunity for you to plan yourself and to have your will drafted. My contact details are here, and I'm happy to speak to any one of you, and we could even schedule appointments and consultations, whether it's via Zoom, WhatsApp calls, or even that we meet here at the temple on another Sunday for the consultation, for the drafting, and for you to sign your will. So please take advantage of this opportunity and plan and draft your wills. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Champak Lata Maharaj. So this is a devotee care initiative, and Maharaj has a question.
You mentioned what may happen with our estate, especially if we die without a will. What if I have minor children and my wife and I die in a car accident or something, and I don't have a will? What happens?
So a couple of things happens there. Firstly, who's going to be the guardian of your children? And I think that's your primary concern. And unless you've had a will, it's your family that's going to determine who's going to be the guardian. They're going to make an application to the Master of the High Court for the appointment of a guardian. And would that be in the best interest of your child? Firstly. Secondly, all your assets, all the monies are going to be tied up. And would they have access to funds for their education, for their maintenance, for their daily needs? And furthermore, even when it is administered by the executor, the monies for the children are kept in the guardian's fund. An application needs to be made on a regular basis for somewhat of a stipend to be received from the guardian's fund until your child attains the age of 18. Thank you for that question, Maharaj.
I have one more question. Who has a will? Who has a will? Wow, your phone may be very busy, Champa.
It's
Should
a
be.
service march. Yeah.
That's a concerningly small number of hands. Concerningly small number of hands.
The GBC has taken this very seriously. Back in 2006, they passed a resolution that they recommend every single sannyasi, guru, leader within ISKCON to have their wills drafted. And more recently, during COVID as well, for advanced medical directives.
And you don't have to be a guru or a sannyasi or a GBC man. Just every sensible person would be well advised to take advantage of this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Marge, for your keen attention also and asking these questions. So we can even do this. I was suggesting to management that there can be a workshop at some stage. Champak Mataji is more than able to assist with this. And we have other attorneys in the movement also who can assist you with this. So before we stand up for Aarti, on this table you'll see there's a set of books. The topic, Coming Back, is encapsulated in that title. That paperback is just 30 rands. And Maharaj's book is on the table, the Vanity Karma.
2 books.
There's 2 books now, yes. The Kirtan Standards, Srila Prabhupada's Kirtan Standards. And the other one's Vanity Karma. This is the one that won the Benjamin Franklin Award. And Maharaj will be more than happy to autograph them if you come forward and take the books from him. Right, so they're just confirming that's 30 rand, and these 2 are 100 rands. It's exceptionally cheap. You go to exclusive books, they're 3 times that price. So please come forward. We'll do the Aarti. Maharaj is going to be kind enough to be here with us. And even during the course of the Aarti, 1 or 2 of you can come over and get, well, not just 1 or 2 of you, many of you should come over and get these books. So let's rise for Aarti. Maharaj will be here. He said he'll wait even to the end of the Aartik. And you can please come and get your books. We have a card machine.
Swami Nitina Mine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatyo Deshotarine Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Gadadhar Shivashadi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Come on. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Open. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Radha, Radhanath, Radha, Radhanath, Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अस्तोत्तर सत श्री श्रीमद अभय चरणार विंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अस्तोत्तर सत श्री श्रीमद शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर माज की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपा गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की नीलाचल जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा माया जमुना माया की तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की The Lordships Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Lordships Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, The Lordships Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Hari ki, Hari Naam Sankirtan ki, 40th anniversary of Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki, 50th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada in South Africa ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
जय श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव भगवान की जय, श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। नमस्ते नर श्रृंगाय जय, नमस्ते नर श्रृंगाय प्रहलाद लाद लाइने हिरण्यकाशी पूर्वक्षः श्रीलतङ्कानकालाये इतो नरसिंगा पर तो नरसिंगा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंगा जे यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंगा बाई नरसिंगा हृदय नरसिंगा अम्बाए नरसिंगा हृदय नरसिंगा नरसिंगा मदिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंगा मदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव कर कमलवरेण कमद्भुता श्रृंगा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवदीर्ता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमल करे जय जय नरसिंगा जय केशवदीर्ता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जय नरसिंह देव हरे जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय भक्ता प्रहलाद जय भक्ता प्रहलाद भक्ता प्रहलाद जय भक्ता प्रहलाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह देव भगवान की जय श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय श्री श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे
Thank you very much. So also, before you go, can welcome into our community, traveling with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj is Jagdish Prabhu, all the way from Texas. So, nice to have you. The prasadam will be served in the tent. So everybody please go. Those of you who've come for the first time, thank you so much for joining us. And please join us for prasadam, for lunch, which is served at the bottom. They normally say it in the bottom.